Coming up on this windy Wednesday edition of ATV News.
A new cup at Starbucks has stirred up quite a debate. We'll show you what locals think.
The cold season is coming. What's your favorite remedy? We'll show you how it might be bogus.
After last week's protest, we'll tell you how much the Koch brothers are giving USU.
Coming up in weather, this wind is bringing both rain and snow. We'll let you know which will win.
In sports, USU's men's basketball team had to start their season without a key player. We'll show you why and how they did without him.
All that and more. This is ATV News. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Taylor Murray.
And I'm Christopher Campbell.
2 people are in jail today. The Cache County Sheriff's Department says they invaded a Paradise home last night. The invasion led to a high-speed chase reaching up to 90 miles per hour. Cache County Sheriff deputies, Utah Highway Patrol troopers, and Logan City Police all attempted to stop the vehicle. Victoria Asta and Douglas Beacon-Beanie were taken into custody at 200 North and 600 West in Logan after the deputy rammed the suspect's car. Beacon-Beanie and Asta have been charged with aggravated robbery, aggravated burglary, aggravated assault, and several other charges.
2 Air France flights from the United States to Paris were diverted Tuesday night due to bomb threats. One of them, Flight 65, which came from Los Angeles, was rerouted to the Salt Lake City airport. Both flights were deemed safe, but law enforcement agencies are still looking to determine the nature of the threats. They are particularly concerned as France experienced its worst violence since World War II on Friday, which left 129 people dead and hundreds more injured. Those were the shots fired in the Bataclan concert hall from what French authorities believe to be AK-47s. More than half of the 129 deaths from Friday took place at this concert hall, but explosions also went off at the Stade de France soccer stadium just outside of Paris. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack, which France has deemed an act of war. And according to President Obama, this was more than just an attack on our oldest national ally.
This is an attack not just on Paris, it's an attack not just on the people of France, but this is an attack on all of humanity and the universal values that we share.
After the attack, France declared that it is at war with, and President Obama has vowed to help.
Many gathered in Salt Lake City last week for a mass resignation from the Church of Jesus Christ for Latter-day Saints. We say many because we don't know exactly how many attended.
Okay, so this is the line to get your name off the church records.
These people all gathered in Salt Lake City last week to turn in their resignation from the LDS Church. It was organized on Facebook as a reaction to the recent policy change in the church regarding couples in same-sex marriages and their children. The number in attendance is still being disputed, but according to a Facebook poll cited by multiple Salt Lake news outlets, only a small percentage of these people were actually active or even members of the church.
The contract between Utah State University and the Charles Koch Foundation is now public after a concerned group of students requested its release last week. The Koch Foundation donated more than $1.5 million this year to the Huntsman School of Business. $1 million of the donation goes to the construction of USU's new building, Huntsman Hall. $540,000 will go towards the salary of 2 tenure track professors. In addition, the contract states that the university will support the Institute of Political Economy and set aside at least 2,200 square feet of space for the institute in Huntsman Hall when it opens. Some students are concerned about Koch's involvement at USU, and we're glad to see the contract released.
We just want people to be honest and transparent. We want everyone to have all facts laid before them so they can make the choice if things go against their morals or their standards.
After they requested the records, the student group Transparency USU organized a protest last week against Koch's involvement. The group also met with USU President Stan Albrecht to voice some concerns. Tim Vitale, USU's Public Relations and Marketing Director, said he was glad to see students voicing their opinions.
the student protest last week was an exercise in First Amendment rights, and that's great to see on campus. We, for any issue, it's something we love to see our students participating in all their constitutional rights.
The Koch Foundation had donated more than $1 million since 2007 prior to this year.
A popular coffee shop is getting a lot of national attention after social media exploded in debate about their new cups. ATV's Misty Inglet is live with more on this issue. Misty?
Thanks, Taylor. So here at Luke's Cafe, you can get either a regular coffee cup or a green recycled one. And it doesn't matter. Nobody's offended. But after Starbucks broke out their red cups for the Christmas season, some Christians were upset by what they think it didn't represent.
It's just a cup.
That's what most people think about the red cup at Starbucks. They don't think it's a big deal.
I think it's kind of nonsense.
I don't really understand the big problem that people are having. Seems pretty small to be worrying so much about.
I just think it's a cup, so I don't get why people are freaking out about it. It's kind of ridiculous to me.
I don't think a cup should define Christmas or people's emotions.
It's a cup. It's red. Whoopity diddly do.
To me, it seems like it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
But to others who go to Starbucks, it is an issue because they find it offensive. They believe the lack of Christmas designs means Starbucks is dumping Christmas. And to Christians, that's the birth of Christ. They say it lacks designs like previous years that had snowmen, snowflakes, or holiday words like joy and hope. But locals think the plain red cup is enough for the holiday.
I think the red that they use especially is a great Christmas color.
I think of Christmas and I think of red and green. So, I mean, it's like half the battle right there is the red. And I think it's a pretty cup.
But those who want more are taking it a step farther. Some of the people who don't like the red cups say they won't be coming back to Starbucks anymore. But others disagree.
No, we will still be going to Starbucks very regularly.
I still like Starbucks and the flavors and, you know, the deals that they have, so it's definitely not going to stop me.
I wouldn't ask them to change it for anything. It's just a cup. It's just coffee.
Now, some people that think the red cups are fine are actually suggesting that Starbucks have markers for their customers. That way, those who aren't happy with just the red cups can draw their own Christmas designs, just like this. Well, hopefully a little better. But they say that this way, everyone wins. Reporting live in Luke's Cafe, Misty Inglet, ATV News.
Thanks, Misty. When we come back, we'll show you how one group of students is using beers to raise money for those in need.
And it seems like everything is online now, but does that include school? Welcome back. This week is registration for the spring semester and classes are becoming increasingly available online. However, most students still choose traditional classes. Our Jeffrey Dada takes you into a new kind of classroom.
So, I am on Main Street. Here is our, what do they call the light rail trains here? Track.
There may be computers in this class, but it's not an online course. Utah State has enrollment of more than 27,000. However, some students will never have to step foot on campus. There are students filling their schedules with one of more than 150 online classes. A lot of students, however, are skeptical of the lectures on the screen.
I don't like the thought of not being in a classroom to learn. I don't know, I guess I really like going to class.
I don't get to actually discuss the question I have with professors.
Students express concern about they're not comfortable necessarily with the idea of doing online. They are worried about forgetting the class, maybe not sure about what kind of time commitment it's going to take.
Some students decide to take their online classes in the library or somewhere else on campus. However, most take them from home, which makes every day Casual Friday. This is Connor. He filled his schedule entirely with online classes this semester.
Honestly, I'd rather have it that way because I am really terrible at going to classes. Like, that was one of my big things in high school. I just never went to class, and now I kind of like just like having all the work online. I can just do it at my own pace when I need to do it.
His favorite part? He can get up whenever.
I'm really not a morning person, so I wasn't too stoked to try to get like morning classes, so I can just do homework when needs be.
Despite an online push, Utah State isn't going entirely online anytime soon.
Levitt said a more popular option for online classes is to mix them with lecture classes.
1 in 5 women will be sexually assaulted while in college, according to a White House task force report. It's rare to hear victims speak out against it, but on Thursday, a panel of them did. Students packed the TSC auditorium to hear a panel of people who were victims of sexual assault talk about their experiences and the importance of speaking up. Because this issue is sensitive, ATV was asked not to record. But after the event, one panelist told us why she thinks it's important to talk about what happened to her.
The fact that people who I knew never talked about it or never mentioned it made me feel like it was a bad thing and that it shouldn't be talked about. So the more we talk about it and the more comfortable we are talking about it, the more likely people are to get help and to recover.
If you have any questions about sexual assault, you can contact USU Sexual Assault Anti-Violence Information Hotline at 435-797-7273.
A group at Utah State University brought students, beards, and wallets together on Monday to raise money for a local family. Wayne Nielsen and his son Tyler were recently diagnosed with a deadly form of muscular dystrophy, and on Monday, students held a fundraiser called Beards for Wayne in an effort to give the Nielsen family money for medical and holiday expenses. The event centered on a beard contest with prizes for the best lumberjack beard and grizzliest beard. People also wrote letters to the Nielsens to offer their support and gave extra change to the cause. Donations from local businesses went into a raffle held at the end of the night. The Beards for Wayne Committee and the Herd will give out fake beards and collect money for the Nielsens at their last fundraiser during the Utah State basketball game against BYU on December 9th.
Pi Kappa Alpha spent 1 week going to local grocery stores and door-to-door for food donations. They received food and cash donations. Everything they brought in goes to the food bank for families who need a little extra help during the holiday season. The items donated weren't just basic groceries.
Items and stuff that they are short on. We do try to collect donations based on what they actually need, and we kind of geared our donation searching towards those items.
Pike donated over 3 tons of food to the Cache Valley Food Pantry and raised over $600.
How are you preparing for the winter and the season of colds, coughs, and influenza? Our Caroline Liston went to the Student Health and Wellness Center to find out how to sneak by the sniffles.
Kind of like being punched in the face.
Drains all the energy out of you. It's part of life, I guess.
It's cold season, the time when people start stocking up and taking remedies. But do they really work?
Many of the over-the-counter medicines can be successful in helping reduce symptoms. None of them, however, will reduce the transmission of the cold virus itself.
And one of the biggest myths is taking high dosages of vitamin C.
And it turns out that when you do carefully controlled studies, it shows that the vitamin C really is not preventative.
What about other vitamins?
Some evidence that zinc tablets do actually help reduce the transmissibility of cold virus. So if you're around people with colds, taking zinc supplements can help you with that.
But the best ways to prevent a cold is by washing your hands and trying to avoid objects that a lot of us touch. Also, exercising, eating healthy, and maintaining good general health. But if you do get sick, doctors say be careful not to spread it.
Most of these illnesses are spread by small droplets of water that leave our system and go into the air. So covering your cough when you cough or sneeze, we call it coughing in the corner, just making a corner with your sleeve. That really helps decrease the spread of germs.
A study in the Be Well USU suggests that hand dryers like germs more than paper towels. So how do we properly dispose of those unwanted germs?
The study that was quoted showed that germs get blown off of your hands into the air, where they're presumably able to be breathed in or come contact with your skin. My take on that is if you wash your hands thoroughly and come to the blow dryer with clean hands, your hands will remain clean after the blow dryer works.
Caroline Liston, ATV News.
Doctors at the Student Health Center say you have already paid for the health services in your student fees, so never hesitate to stop by.
When we come back, ATV's Alicia Facer will have your Cache Valley weather report.
The current temperature is 41 degrees.
Welcome back. We're going to start out by looking at the national temperature, and we're going to start over in the east. New York is up in the 50s with Detroit in the 70s, and we're in the high 60s. Moving out across the west, you can see the temperatures dropping down a little bit into the low 50s and high 40s, and then coming out into Utah in the low 40s again, low 30s even. So all in all, not super chilly and ready for the snow to come. If we look at the national radar, we can see over here in the east as well as in the west that it's pretty clear. There's not a lot happening. Where it is happening is in Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee area. They're getting hit right now with a lot of rain. They have severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado watches. And so we're going to get our own share of rain and snow mixture. If we look at the state radar, Salt Lake City, Layton, Ogden, they're already getting hit right now with a little bit of rain and snow, and then it's moving its way up towards Logan, and it'll be here for a few days. If we look at the 7-day forecast, Wednesday today, we have a little bit of rain and snow mixture, 40% chance. The high is 44, the low is 26, and it's gonna stay like that going into Thursday. So if you're out traveling, the roads may be icy, it may not be safe, so just slow down, take your time. Going into the weekend, Friday, we see it start to clear up a little bit. We still have a rain and snow mixture, 20% chance, a high of 42. It's gonna drop down into 15, and it's gonna start getting a little bit chilly. Saturday clears up a little bit, no snow, but the clouds do come out, high of 36 and low of 13. Going into Sunday though, it's going to be beautiful, all sun, 40 degrees with a low of 23, and then the clouds will come back on Monday with a high of 45, low of 28, and then Tuesday it's going to warm up a little bit, a high of 53, but the clouds will be there. So towards the end of the week, it's going to get a little cold, a little snowy, but it's going to warm back up for the beginning of next week. You're all caught up in weather. Let's see how the Aggies did in sports. Jamie?
Thank you, Alicia. Coming up on ATV Sports, we'll show you how opening regular games of the basketball season went for the Aggies.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Don't look at me.
I got this new
Your hair's a
family.
bit frizzy today.
And I don't know what it is about this
You
one,
should pick that
but she
up.
can't seem to
Every
put
day,
down that
kids
toy.
witness bullying.
You.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Got a lot of things to work on. I guess if anything, it's a good thing it happened now. It gives us a lot of things to work on. A good wake-up call.
That was sophomore forward David Collette speaking for Utah State University last week after the preseason game against Cal State Monterey Bay. And that will be the last time he speaks for the Aggies. David Collette has left the Utah State men's basketball team, even though he practiced earlier last week and played in both preseason games. Collette played for the team last season as a freshman after his 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He was one of the strongest players on the team last season, scoring 12.8 points per game. He will be eligible to play for another team next year. The announcement came in with only 2 days before the regular season started against Weber State Friday night. So let's see how the Aggies did without Collette. Without the star sophomore, the Bigs had to step up their game in the post. And they did. Both Elston Johns and Lou Evans took on the challenge, and Evans finished the game with 17 points and 5 rebounds. Shane Rector also had an impressive game, scoring 15 points, and with 15 seconds left on the clock, Rector sunk 2 clutch free throws to keep the Aggies' lead against the Wildcats. And as the clock ran down, Weber missed a 3 to tie the game, and the Aggies kept the Wildcats from scoring, winning the game 73-70. And last night, the Aggies took on the Adams State Grizzlies. Chris Smith contributed 21 points and 7 rebounds. Junior Jalen Moore had 17 points, including this dunk. And Queen Taylor stepped up and almost had a double-double, scoring 12 points and getting 9 rebounds. The Aggies beat Grizzlies 83-68, and Coach Tim DeRie said Taylor's skills helped boost the Aggies' performance.
Quinn has a great feel for the game. He's a very good complementary guy, a glue guy. He makes everybody else better on the floor.
You can watch the Aggies as they take on Union University on Friday at 7 p.m. in the Spectrum. Women's basketball game opened the season against Sacramento State. Freshman debuts were successful. Rachel Brewster, Katie Toole, and Deja Mason played as starters and showed the fans what they've got. Katie Toole came out especially strong, scoring 22 points in the game. It was a tight game throughout, but Aggies lost to Sacramento State 95-86. Hoping for a turnaround, Aggies hosted the game against Westminster on Monday. Westminster took control over the first 2 quarters with shots like this by junior guard Aubrey Vale, and this one by freshman guard Denise Gonzalez. There it goes. And like this one again by Gonzalez. They showed strong passes, making it harder for the Aggies. However, Aggies picked up the pace and came back with a 3-pointer like this, and a team play right here. Utah State won against Westminster 74-67, and this was the first win of the season, and they're confident that this win will last.
For like our future games that we can like outrun every team that we play, just kind of get buckets, you know.
You can check out if this win will continue this Saturday. The Aggies will be playing against Pacific at 6 p.m. in the Spectrum. Utah State's football team had a tough loss against Air Force last weekend. Sophomore quarterback Kent Myers tried to bring the ball back in the third quarter, ending it with a 44-yard touchdown pass to senior wide receiver Devontae Robinson. However, the team struggled to bring it back entirely, losing the game 35-28. Aggies will play against Nevada at Maverick Stadium this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. in hopes to break out of the slump. Women's volleyball team definitely broke out of its slump and won over Nevada 3-1 last Thursday. The team's defense paid off after a rough start in the first set. Aggies started taking over the match in the fourth. It was a tight one, but Aggies were able to close it out with a 4-1 run thanks to junior outside hitter Katie Small, who scored 3 of the final 4 points to wrap up the final set 25-20, finally giving Aggies a win after losing 7 games. Utah State took on San Diego State on Saturday in hopes of continuing their winning streak. Aggies showed one of the stronger offenses and team plays of the season with blocks like this, and stayed focused with attacks like this one right here. However, Aztecs also stayed strong and kept the game tight, blocking the balls like this. The points went back and forth in all the sets, exciting all the fans, and made the teams play the deciding 5th set. Aggies were leading the set 17-16, but lost against Aztecs in the 5th set. But they hope to bring it back for the next few games of the season that are left.
I think it was good. We fought really hard. I think that there's just like tiny things that we can fix, for sure, especially on the runs.
Women's volleyball team plays the first of the 2 final road matches this season tonight against New Mexico at 7 p.m. Now you're up to date with all the sports. Back to you, Taylor and Chris.
Thanks, Jamie. Coming up, see how some international students displayed their culture.
And one local teen is teaching girls how important they really are.
Aggie Air is an innovative engineering program exclusive to Utah State. It provides opportunities for students to get hands-on and real-world experiences. By building model planes that photograph and scan detailed images of landscapes, Aggie Air can change the way we use the Earth's surface. Watch as Aggie Air takes flight.
Only 4% of women worldwide consider themselves beautiful. One high school senior set up a clinic wanting to change that. Our Alicia Facer went to find out how self-esteem affects girls of all ages.
Self-esteem issues start at a young age. 80% of girls under 10 say they are afraid of being obese.
All right, there we go.
18-year-old Michaela Nish wants her workshop to make a difference.
I've struggled with self-esteem my entire life, and I don't want other girls to have to go through that. So if I can help them with their self-esteem, then that's what I'm going to do.
Each station had a message to uplift the girls' self-image. Booths range from sports, beauty, and music. The girls also talked about stereotypes between boys and girls' sports and how they could redefine them. And the purpose?
It can help build their courage and confidence and self-esteem so that they can be more successful in the world.
So what effect did these activities have, and how would Nish know?
The girls took 2 surveys, one before the event and one after, to see how the activities affected their self-confidence.
There was improvement, and some volunteers were happy they were able to make a difference.
Walk away from these different booths learning new skills and talents and whatever they can to be a better person and citizen and have more confidence to go out there in the world.
Especially at this age, it's really important to instill confidence in young girls.
Alicia Facer, ATV News.
The clinic was part of Michaela's Gold Project. The Gold Award is the highest level for Girl Scouts.
It's International Education Week at USU, and on Monday, the Office of Global Engagement held the Around the World Family Night. Families played games set up by international students, including the paper-sliming Korean game Takchi. Students also provided food from their countries and let people try ethnic clothing. International student Abhijit Kulkarni performed a song with an acoustic guitar, while his adoring fans lined the stage with balloons. Then after that, Saudi Arabian students taught the audience an ethnic dance, and those who watched could join in. Organizers of the event say their goal was to expose children and families to different cultures.
It's important that we get to understand these cultures so that we can better interact and communicate with people in our community.
If you missed out on Around the World Family Night, you can still check out other events, including displays from the Study Abroad photo contest and a Diwali celebration on Saturday.
The biology greenhouse is a little more cramped after receiving a big, prickly donation. These plants are just some of the 63 different varieties of succulents and cacti that were donated by USU student Nathan Stalker. He donated them after his collection got too big to store at his home during winter. It is the largest donation the greenhouse has received. Though they do not typically accept donations due to their already full house, they made an exception for such a large and various collection. The biology department plans to use these new plants for teaching.
The Logan Downtown Alliance wants you to get ready for the 16th annual parade of gingerbread homes. Whether you're building an historic local landmark in miniature, recreating a delicious scene from a favorite childhood movie, or just stopping by Main Street to see the sugary sideshow, December 5th is the day it all begins. If you need ideas for your own creation, previous years have seen a cluster of minions, an edible barnyard held together with caramelized sugar, and a flock of mermaids who would probably be chilly if they weren't so edible. For information on how to enter your own gingerbread creation or any of today's stories, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/AggieTV News.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day, Aggies.